Your offer letter said $48,000. You did the math in the parking lot. That's $4,000 a month. New apartment, maybe a better car. You felt like you made it. But then your first paycheck hit, and it wasn't $4,000. It wasn't even close. Something happened between that salary number and your bank account, and nobody at HR explained it. That $48,000 was never yours. Not even half of it works the way you think. And by the end of this video, you'll see exactly where every dollar actually goes. Here's what most people never sit down and calculate. You earn $48,000 a year. That sounds like $4,000 a month. But gross pay and net pay are two completely different numbers. Gross pay is the number on your offer letter. It's the number you tell your friends. It's the number the apartment complex uses to approve you. Net pay is what actually lands in your checking account, and the gap between those two numbers is enormous. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American's total tax burden eats between 22% and 30% of their gross income. But taxes are only the beginning. There are deductions you agreed to that you barely remember signing up for. Health insurance, retirement contributions, maybe dental and vision. Some of those are good things, but the point is, you never see that money. Your landlord sees $48,000. Your grocery store sees $48,000. Your car dealer sees $48,000. But your bank account? Your bank account sees something very different. And that mismatch is exactly why you feel broke on a salary that should feel comfortable. Let's walk through every single cut that happens before your money reaches you. First up, federal income tax. On $48,000, you fall into the 22% tax bracket, but that doesn't mean 22% of everything. The tax system is layered. The first $11,600 is taxed at 10%. The next chunk up to $47,150 is taxed at 12%, and the remaining amount above that is taxed at 22%. When you add it all up, your effective federal tax rate is closer to 12%. That's about $5,760 a year, gone before you see it. Next, Social Security tax. That's 6.2% of your gross pay. On $48,000, that's $2,976. Then Medicare. That's 1.45%, another $696. Now state income tax. This varies, but the national average is about 4.6%. On your salary, that's roughly $2,208. So far, we haven't talked about anything optional. These are mandatory. The government takes them automatically. Let's add it up. Federal tax, $5,760. Social Security, $2,976. Medicare, $696. State tax, $2,208. That's $11,640 taken from your $48,000 before you even choose a single deduction. But you did choose deductions. Most employers offer health insurance. The average employee contribution for a single plan is about $1,368 per year. That comes straight out of your paycheck too. If you signed up for a 401k at even 3%, that's another $1,440. So now you're looking at roughly $14,448 in total deductions. Your $48,000 is actually about $33,552 hitting your bank account. That's $2,796 per month, not $4,000. Now let's take that $2,796 per month and do what nobody ever does. Let's subtract the things you have to pay just to survive. Rent. The national median for a one-bedroom apartment is about $1,200 a month. According to Zillow, it's actually higher in most cities, but let's use $1,200 to be generous. $2,796 minus $1,200. You're at $1,596. Car payment. The average used car payment in America is $525 a month according to Experian. $1,596 minus $525. You're at $1,071. Car insurance. The national average is about $190 per month. $1,071 minus $190. You're at $881. Utilities, electric, water, internet, phone. That's roughly $300 a month combined. $881 minus $300. You're at $581. Groceries. The USDA says a moderate food plan for one person costs about $325 a month. $581 minus $325. You're at $256. Gas to get to work. Average is about $150 a month depending on your commute. $256 minus $150. You have $106 left for the entire month. That's $106 for everything else in your life: clothes, haircuts, a birthday gift, medicine, an oil change, a flat tire, anything fun, anything unexpected. $106. Let's put that in perspective. You work about 160 hours a month at a full-time job. $106 divided by 160 hours is 66 cents per hour of free money. But wait, even if we're more generous and say your total spendable cash after just the big 5 expenses is around $450 before the smaller costs chip away, that's still only about $2.74 per hour. You thought you were making $23 an hour. You're not. Your real hourly rate for money you actually control is $2.74. That number is what nobody shows you at the job interview. That's the salary illusion. Here's what makes this even worse. Every major system in your life is built to charge you based on your gross income, not your take home. When you apply for an apartment, they ask for your gross salary, $48,000. They approve you for rent up to 30% of that. That's $1,200 a month. Sounds reasonable on $48,000, but on your actual take home of $2,796, that $1,200 is 43% of what you bring home. Car dealerships do the same thing. They look at your gross income and approve a monthly payment that feels affordable on paper, but they're budgeting your money for you, and they're using the wrong number. The lending industry profits from this confusion. A 2023 report from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found that 37% of borrowers are spending more than 30% of their actual take-home on housing alone. That's not a budgeting failure. That's a system designed to squeeze you. Credit card companies approve you based on gross income too. They don't ask what your rent is. They don't ask about your car payment. They just see $48,000 and hand you a $10,000 credit limit. Then they charge you 24% interest when you can't pay it off. The entire financial system speaks in gross income, but you live in net income. And that gap, that's where the trap lives. Nobody is doing this math for you. Banks don't. Employers don't. Landlords definitely don't. If you don't do this math yourself, everyone else will do it for you, and they'll do it in their favor. Now you might be thinking, if the math is this bad, what's the point of budgeting at all? That's the number one objection. People hear these numbers and feel defeated. But here's what changes everything. Most people budget wrong because they start from the wrong number. They open a budgeting app, type in $48,000, and wonder why they're short every month. The fix isn't making more money, not yet. The fix is starting from the real number. Step 1. Look at your last 3 pay stubs, not your salary, your actual deposits. Add them up and divide by 3. That's your real monthly income. For most people earning $48,000 gross, that number is somewhere between $2,700 and $2,900. That is the only number that matters. Step 2. List your non-negotiable bills: rent, car, insurance, utilities, phone, food, gas. Total those up. Be honest. For the average person on this salary, that total sits between $2,300 and $2,500 a month. Step 3. Whatever's left, that's your actual budget, not $4,000, not $3,000, maybe $300 to $450. And here's the shift. Once you accept that number, you stop feeling broken. You're not bad with money. You were just measuring with the wrong ruler. A bank rate survey from 2024 found that 56% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency. That's not because they're irresponsible. It's because they're budgeting from a number that doesn't exist. When you budget from your real take home, you make different choices. You negotiate rent. You question the car payment. You stop comparing yourself to the gross income lifestyle that was never affordable in the first place. Two people, both earning $48,000 a year. Same city, same starting point. Person A never runs the real math. They see $48,000 and sign a $1,400 apartment lease because the complex approved them. They finance a $28,000 car because the dealer said they qualified. They get a credit card with a $10,000 limit and slowly carry a $3,000 balance at 24% interest. After 5 years, person A has paid $84,000 in rent, $31,500 in car payments including interest, about $3,600 in credit card interest alone. They have no savings. Their car is worth $9,000. They feel like they've been running in place for half a decade. Person B sits down after watching a video like this one. They look at their real take-home, $2,796 a month. They find a room or a cheap apartment for $900 instead of $1,400. That's $500 a month saved. They keep driving their current car. No payment. They avoid the credit card trap entirely. Person B puts that $500 a month into a high-yield savings account, earning about 4.5% interest. After 5 years, person B has roughly $33,400 saved. That's a down payment on a house, or an emergency fund that covers 8 months of expenses, or the start of something that actually builds wealth. Same salary, same city, same $48,000. The only difference, person B knew the real number. That's it. That's the entire advantage. Knowing what you actually take home and building your life around that truth instead of the illusion. You didn't know this because nobody taught you. Not your school, not your employer, not the bank that approved your lease. The salary on your offer letter was never the real number, and every system around you was built to pretend it was. But now you know, and you can't unknow it. You're not someone who guesses anymore. You're someone who runs the math. This is not your fault. Nobody taught you this, but now you know, and knowing changes everything.